Hello everyone and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. This is 0.19 and I am Philip from Black Book Gaming, here to bring you some more Kerbal Space Program. And this is part of the new rocket. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to save the save file from 0.18. For whatever reason, it wouldn't let me bring it over. And so I had to start up a brand new game. And so this is one of our new rockets. I've already got a space station up there. I'll show it to you later. Um, this is new to 1.9. This is the Rover setup, and this is my Rover that I've got kind of going here, sitting on top of our rocket. This is our Moon Rover number 3, and I'm going to see if I can land this thing on the moon for you guys and do a little bit of driving around. Hopefully we can get it down over there. I'm hoping this rocket does live up to what I want it to. This is our nuclear stage here, and this is very similar to the rockets we've had in the past that have taken us to the moon, so I'm pretty confident that it'll get us there. So let's go ahead and head out to the launch pad and we'll get this thing going. Alright, let's see what this thing can do. I do have to cut the video every time I switch between the hangar and coming out here. For whatever reason, it crashes. I don't know if it's the video settings I've got it set on. I did change it from the last time on the last season, the 0.18 video settings that we had before. So it's a little bit different. And we're going to go ahead and see what we can do. We're powered up. SAS is on. Let's take off. Yeah, this thing really does kind of jump quite a bit as it takes off here. 12 of these small solid rocket boosters around the outside, giving us quite a boost. And God, the sound of this thing still seems like it's way too high. You know, I've got to turn it down quite a bit. Yeah, I don't like doing that during the video, but I had to change it because it was just way too loud. Okay, coming up on getting rid of the solid rocket boosters. There they go. It's now much quieter as we go into our second stage here, and that is just our regular fuel rockets here. This stage has got nothing on it but four of these, the 200 thrust engines that allow us to actually gimbal and move around quite a bit. And let's see, 9,000 meters. Hopefully we'll push through this part of the atmosphere pretty quickly, get into an orbit, and start making our way out toward the moon. This is all stuff you guys have seen before, so I may cut some of this stuff out. I was going to say probably, but I may cut some of this stuff out depending on how well it goes, because I got to get it to a nice orbit. Then I want to go over to make an orbit around the moon, and I really do want to try and get a nice tight orbit around the moon. Let's see, make sure we're still set up good. Okay. 16,000 meters. So far, this has been actually a really, is there something over on that island? I say something, so far it's been a pretty good launch. It looks like there's actually something over on that island. I may have to go take a look at that. I have not been over there yet. Yeah, it does look like there's something over there. The devs may have hit something over there, so we'll have to go take a look. Oh, I'm missing my time to make my turn. Going to do it right around 22,000 meters. So we're going to make our turn right there. Okay, hold it up. Okay, so there's our first part of our turn. Turn off RCS. I don't have a lot of RCS fuel in this thing, so I got to be careful about that. Getting ready to run out of fuel with this stage, and there it goes. Here comes the next stage. Getting a little bit of rotation going on here. Let's try and make sure to even that up, because I want this to stay as flat as possible when it comes to our trajectory as we go into our orbit around Kerbin. Hopefully this works out the way I want it to. There's the moon. That's our target up there. And let's take a quick look over here. See how we're doing. 70,000 meter apoapsis. That's nice. There's some debris off our space station. There's a little bit of a story behind that I will get into another time, about our first piece of space debris on this map that I'm not real happy about, but it happened and almost made my current station uninhabitable, and almost had to deorbit the dumb thing just because of one little misstep that happened during the wasn't even during the build process. It was actually while I was trying to take the first refueling tank up there, and it very nearly made me have to deorbit the station. But when I show you the station here, maybe in the next episode or two, I will kind of go over as to what happened there that left that piece of space debris up there. I don't know if it was part of the game physics, or if it was simply something that I did wrong in my design. But in any case, we now have our first piece of space debris. I can talk in this map setup. So here we go. Looking at getting our first shutdown. There it is. Get rid of that piece right there. Whoa. Hang on there. Okay. That's actually not too bad. We leaned over just right. Got the nuclear rocket is going to be our next stage coming up here pretty soon. 91 on that apoapsis. I'm not real thrilled about that. I was actually kind of shooting for a little bit higher than that. I was really wanting to get 100 or so on that apoapsis. Mainly because the nuclear rocket does not have a ton of thrust to it. And therefore, when this current stage burns out, if I'm not going fast enough, I could end up back into the atmosphere really easily. There's 93. Actually, we're gaining a little bit. Okay, I'm good with that. Let's see, 93 for the apoapsis. We're at 1500. Almost done with this fuel tank, so we may hit. I'm hoping at least 1800, maybe 1900 out of this current fuel tank. If we can do that, then I can get the rest away to 2300 to reach our orbital velocity, which will be nice. And let's see, 94, we're definitely doing better. About to burn out at 1842. So we turn this on, get our nuclear engine going here. Make a bit of a turn. I want to line up as best I can with the horizon there. And we're going to gain on our apoapsis. We're gaining speed, but it's nowhere near as fast. So I've got to make about 300 meters per second to be able to hit orbit. Let's see here. Yeah, you're going to notice all this junk back here. There's some debris over there. I may have to tell you guys about. What was supposed to be part of our station ended up over here in the southeast part of this continent. Station, of course, is over there. And okay, so I got 300 meters per second to make up here. We are now headed down, which is not the direction we want to be headed at the moment. This is actually costing us a little bit of fuel for no gain. See our orbital line moving out there very slowly. And the other thing is our station is not exactly on a 90-degree orbit, which is a bit of a mistake and a problem. Didn't mean for that to happen, but by the time I realized how badly off it was, the station was already built. And I really couldn't move it at that point because the thing just tries to shake itself apart. Okay, so now we'd have our orbit. I want to bring this up if I can to about at least 80,000 meters. Not a problem. There it is. Cut the engines and let's find the moon. Okay, so I'm definitely not going to be making a moon shot from where I'm at right now because it is directly above us. So I'm going to have to wait one orbit until I can make my my run at the moon here. Well, most of an orbit. So of course I can't go faster than 50 times below 120,000 meters. That's fine. Just want to make sure I get myself lined up nice and well when we do come around the side over here. Electrical power is fading off just a little bit. That's alright. We can make do with what we got. Let's make our adjustments here. Because moonrise should be coming up here fairly shortly. And let's get that in place. I still want to try and... I use the maneuvers sometimes, but I really still use a lot of just eyeballing things for like going to the moon. I'm sure I'm going to have to start making changes to that. And really going to have to start paying attention to adding maneuvers into my setup pretty soon as I start to try and go out to not just Minmus, because we've been to Minmus, but I want to make runs at the other planets that are out there too, because we have a lot of other planets out there, so we got a lot of things we have to see. We do have one spacecraft that's kind of out there right now that may reach an orbit of another planet. And again, that's another mission that I will kind of update you guys on as time goes by. Um, Probably not on this current mission, but we'll see what we can do. There's the sunrise right next to moonrise. We may even, I don't know if we'll be able to get an eclipse off that or not. Depends on how far out we can push this thing. So now we've got to build up our speed. Our apoapsis is at 300,000 meters, and it should slowly start to push its way out there. So we got to try and push toward 11 million meters, which is where the moon is at. With the nuclear rocket, which I think is awesome because it actually makes this part of the engine glow as opposed to your the actual bell end of the rocket there at the exhaust port, which I think is kind of a nice touch for this one. But as this thing picks up speed, because the nuclear rocket has one of the slowest increases of thrust of any of the rockets, but what it does have, it's just a really nice efficiency to it. I'm pretty sure that the power we have, or the fuel we have, is way more than what we need to actually get out there. Because you can see it right now, we're already at 1 million. And that's going to quickly pick up velocity here. The apoapsis is going to really start to pick up velocity here as we start to move out toward our 11 million mark, which is where, of course, the moon is 11,400,000 meters. And so as we start to really push this thing out there, it'll start to get out there a little faster and faster until hopefully we can pick up our encounter with the moon. I really kind of wish I'd have changed our orbit just a little bit. And you see we're kind of dipped on this right side a little bit. Too late now. Okay. We will deal with it as it is. But yeah, the nuclear engine, as you can see, has got a nice efficient burn to it. We're only burning at 0.84 and 0.69, so these are really good numbers. But yeah, we're getting our effect out of it that we need. I've got to try and do something with the ion thruster, because I had a feeling that one is going to be where a lot of the real deep space power is at. Like if I want to send a probe out to say Joule or was it Drez or Duna, something like that. I got a feeling that's where we're really going to want to push, like maybe ion thrusters, so that I can just try to get maximum efficiency out of those kind of engines. But that's for future episodes. Right now, I just want to get this thing to the moon. I want to get this lander down on the moon so we can kind of tool around on an automated system. As you can see, yes, I did go ahead and land a craft out there, very similar to our stranded Kerbel that we had out there in 0.18. Oh, I think that's actually an impact. Let's see. Can we not have an impact? 20,000 meters. Okay, good enough. So let's go ahead and fast forward to get out there to the moon. 1,000 times, maybe not 10. We don't really need 10,000 times. 1,000 times that'll work good enough. Do have a small polar orbit satellite going around the moon there. We shouldn't really have anything to do with that. And so what I want to do is I want to get a nice tight orbit around the moon here. 19,000 is what it's showing now for our apoapsis. And let's see. Let's see if we can slow ourselves. Make sure that's set to 0 to 1. Until we can create our... Yeah, I got going too fast there. Okay, let's create our orbit if we can. Slowing ourselves down. This is going to give us a really wide orbit. Then when I get down to periapsis, oh, shoot, that's actually going to slow me down too much. That's going to be a really, really tight periapsis down there. See if I can use my RCS a little bit to pick that up above 5,000 meters. At least get me off the terrain. There we go. Okay, so what I want to do is when I get close to it, I want to, so when we get down to about 6,000 meters, that's when I'll start my burnout. I may have started that other one just a little too soon. So fast forward here just a little bit more. Go around to the dark side of the moon a little bit. And Now this is a nice low orbit around the moon. I actually don't want to land our current craft. I want it to stay in orbit, even if it's an extremely low orbit. Okay. This should be about the bottom of our orbit here. Which should give me enough to... Yeah, okay, we're gaining altitude, which is good. Okay, so I want to try and create an orbit here, which we should do here in just a second, right about there. Still gaining altitude, which is good. I don't want to actually crash this thing, which is what I'm kind of worried about actually doing here. As you can see, there's my my polar orbiter around the moon. And let's bring this thing in, 500,000 meters. Because if I got this thing set up correctly, what we should be able to do, now this is total hypothesis, so what I should be able to do is just release the lander from this thing, and have it slow itself down before it makes its descent onto the planet where it'll then rove around. Meanwhile, the rover, the main module, will stay up in orbit around the moon, and allow us to kind of stay up there and just do our thing. And okay, we're drifting off a little bit. Let's get back online. 40, 30, 20. Okay, that came down quite a bit. So let's go ahead and stick with this one. Get ready to launch our orbiter off here. And I don't know if I want to launch it from this angle or not. Yeah, it'll probably be best to be launching it backwards away from us so we don't run back into it again. That's probably the best way to do this. And let's see, currently our other orbiter is somewhere over there. Let's get ready to launch this thing and see if we can go for broke. I've got these extra little engines on here to hopefully slow us down. We are moving pretty quick, almost 560 meters per second. So let's go ahead and decouple this thing, decouple our lander. And there it goes. We'll switch over. Bid our main orbiter goodbye there for just a little bit. And let's see if we can... Now this thing actually is backwards. Because it's showing this as being the opposite of our direction of movement, but it's not, because I built this thing upside down. So I need to flip it over. And I don't believe it'll let me... No, I had this problem off camera once, so what I have to do actually is turn off the thrust, activate these engines, and now we can do our throttle down. Okay. So of course the biggest thing I'm worried about here is fuel. Because we've got, we're burning through fuel pretty quickly. We are slowing ourselves down a lot though, which is nice. So we're now at 110. That's gotta be, that's gotta bring us down into an actual landing, which it does. Good. There you can see our orbiting part is already 10 kilometers away. Let's get lined up back again here. Let's see if we can make this a one-shot where we land this thing on our first attempt. Although I'm definitely not landing in a place that I would consider noteworthy. We're definitely landing on the bland part of the moon here. Let's see. Let's line this back up. Kind of slow us down just a little bit more. There's no SAS on this thing whatsoever, so this is just going to be a flat-out hands-on landing. And it feels a little bit weird trying to walk this thing up into the center of the brown part of the control here, because it is completely backwards from where I was. I don't know why I turned that on. From when I was doing the other landings. Let's go ahead and let's see if we can stop most of our horizontal motion here. See if we can get this thing coming down straight. Oops. I don't want to go back up. I just realized how much thrust this thing actually has. Okay, so here we are. We're coming largely straight down, which is good. It's exactly where we need to be. All of our horizontal motion has been dissipated. And now we get to come down pretty much vertically, which is perfect for what we're looking for. I keep turning SAS on for some dumb reason. So we got our solar panels. They are getting charged. Liquid fuel is still in good shape. I have no landing lights. I really, now that I'm thinking about it, dang it, I should, but these things, wow. Makes me wonder if I was drunk when I built this thing. Because this thing's off-center. I don't have any lights in this thing. I really did kind of want lights on here. Okay, let's slow us down. Because lights is how I've been using lights to land by a bunch here lately. Just because I like how it kind of sets up the ground effects for you. And now I'm going too slow. 2,000 meters off the ground. Let's back off a little bit. Yeah, this is pretty much the most bland part of the moon I could possibly have landed in. So on our next iteration of the moon lander, we'll have to do some rethought to it. See if we get some of our finer controls going on here. 2,200 meters. We are coming down. Coming down kind of quickly. Still don't see a shadow though. Oh, 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 no, 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 no. Crap. I had such a perfect landing going and now we've got horizontal motion. I see our shadow, which is good, but kind of not. Tell me we can land this thing. Oh, no, no, no. Ah, crap. We exploded, and there goes the bits. Wait a minute. Looks like everything is on that thing that should allow me to control it. Yet it won't let me. Son of a bitch. Okay. Well, we're going to go back to the drawing board. We're going to fix a few things on this. And we're going to do it again. But first, wait a minute. Just let me take control of it. Kinda. Roll. Holy crap. Success. We blew the fuel tank off it, but who cares? We don't need the fuel tank. We're not going anywhere with this thing. Okay. So maybe slightly dumb the fact that we were able to land this thing in a crash format and then take control of it again. So we have successfully landed a rover on the moon, even though I'll be honest with you, I pretty much saw it as failure. We can now rove around the moon here for as long as we've got electrical charge. I don't think I've got quite enough power because you can see my my electrical charge is slowly wearing down there. But yeah, this is 1.9, 0.19 for Kerbal Space Program. This is one of the huge things they added in. Oh, don't tip. Is the ability to make rovers like this to rove around on distant worlds like the moon, Minmus, and the other moons, the other planets that are out there. It's not the fastest thing in the world. We're only moving at 7.9 meters per second, so if we wanted to really get anywhere, it would take us some time. It does not allow me to speed up there. I kind of thought it would allow me to do a time acceleration, but it doesn't. It says that cannot warp faster than 1 time while moving over terrain. So yeah, this is our first rover. Just don't, you know, I flipped it over once from being basically face down, so I guess I could do it again if I really wanted to. I should have landed someplace more entertaining. than the flattest part of the moon here. Because, yeah, right now there's just nothing here but flat out plains. But successfully made our rover, our little 8-wheeled rover here. Very happy about that. All of our little batteries are down underneath there. Nice little bit of structure to keep things kind of set up. Maybe, I don't think I needed the double framing there. I probably could have gone with one, so we'll probably switch that out at some later iteration of this. In fact, the reason why I did this was because originally my original design had a fuel tank down here with a really tiny engine here. Uh, so all this framing may be absolutely well redundant and pointless now at this point. So I may go back through and try to recreate this in a somewhat more efficient manner. Oh, we did lose a solar panel because there was 4 on each one of these top plates. So I may have to go back through and do a little bit of rework. We took some damage in the crash. We lost our engines, so we have no means whatsoever of getting back off the planet. I want the next one to be something where a Kerbal could either ride in or ride on top of. Now, how far are we away from our... Oh, we are hell and forever away from that place. Because over here, we have a stranded Kerbal. At least, if he was somewhere over here, we could give him a car to ride around in. But that's not going to be the case. See, we're doing our little stunts here. Gravity, of course, means that... oh, hang on. You can do some kind of weird things with this. A little bit of a bounce. Alright, so that's going to be kind of where we end this episode. It may have been a little bit shorter than I was planning on. But I really wanted to show off. It's been a few days since 0.19 came out. I really kind of wanted to show off the whole rover thing, the lander rover setup. And so this is going to be kind of our setup for this. We're going to be going to go for some much larger and, oh, there we go. Flipped it over and saved it. I do like how the wheels at the back know to turn the correct direction, so you're not trying to fight against your own wheels. So from here on out, we're going to be trying to make some larger, better vehicles that we can try to roam around on the moon or Minmus. I clearly had enough fuel that we could have taken this thing to Minmus, which I think would be far more entertaining than running around here on the moon. Can we see anything from here? No, we are not. Oh, there's right there. There's Kerbin. And is Minmus in the sky right now? I'm going to say no, it is not. If it is in a position that would make, like in the sun or somewhere to make it hard to see. Oh, it's way over there. So definitely not in view right now. It is way off to the side over there. And, okay, oh, in the ground. So that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Take it easy. We'll see you on the next one. We're going to start showing off a little bit more of 0.19 and looking forward to 0.2, which I hear is going to be the mining update, which would be great. We'll have to build a moon base so we can start building fuel or getting fuel out here. And if we can do that, we'll be in great shape for exploring the rest of the solar system. So we'll see you guys on the next one.